What a surprise live stream. I did not know that there would be an NFL trade today, but here we are. So, if anyone isn't reading the title or somehow doesn't know, Kadarius Toney was traded today from the Giants to the Chiefs in exchange for a conditional third and sixth round pick. So, it's kind of interesting. I was a little bit surprised at half of it. Not surprised that Kadarius Toney was traded. It's obvious that the Brian Dable-led coaching staff does not want Kadarius Toney. They were stuck with him. They were stuck with Kenny Golladay. They did not want him. His time in New York. This is not the first live stream I've done about Kadarius Toney being traded. I've done another one talking about how he was going to be traded over the summer. It did not happen. But I did one at that time talking about him being traded. So this is not the first time I've even gone live saying that Kadarius Toney is going to be traded. So, this is not, I don't think anyone is stunned by the idea that, that Kadarius Toney has been moved. And yeah, again, not surprising, I don't think, to anybody. And if you're watching this either in the chat or after, as always, like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Anything along those lines really helps out the algorithm. I know a lot of people tuned in for when I did my live stream about James Robinson, the James Robinson trade to the Jets at what was it? 2 a.m. So yeah, I'm hoping that people enjoy this one as well. But anyway, let's take a look at the impact here. The Chiefs, I'm a little surprised that they didn't go for someone more proven. They have a lot of kind of maybe. They have Mecole Hardman has been kind of a maybe for so long. Juju Smith-Schuster is kind of a decent number 2 receiver, but he's not a one. Sky Moore is a rookie. He's kind of been a maybe. MVS, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, has kind of also been a maybe. So now they're introducing kind of more maybe into the mix. So I thought they would have traded for someone more like Brandon Cooks, more sure thing. But anyway, so they bring Kadarius Toney in. Now, Kadarius Toney said on Twitter that he was healthy, which leads me to believe he was not injured this whole time. He was just kind of sitting out, and this was like a quiet holdout, quiet quitting, whatever you want to say. I don't believe that he was actually injured or anything along those lines. So the Chiefs for this year, I think for now, they're on a bye week now. So I would assume Kadarius Toney will be ready to play week 9. It means that it's going to be even more difficult to start Chiefs wide receivers. I still think you're going to be able to play Juju Smith-Schuster as kind of a mid wide receiver 3 like you've been doing all year. But everyone else, it's going to be tough. I don't know how it's going to fit in. My guess is just looking at the contracts. I mean, Juju is on a 1-year deal, but he's clearly been the one for now. Marquez Valdes-Scantling was signed it was a 3-year deal, but, most of the guarantees were in year 1. They can escape from that contract if they cut him before the 3rd day of the 2023 league year and save $7 million. So this Kadarius Toney move gives them the option to do that. Mecole Hardman is a free agent after this year. So is Juju. Sky Moore is also there. What this tells me is that they are anticipating that Sky Moore will offer nothing, 0 production in 2023 or 2022. He is clearly a project for them, a project player. In Dynasty, if I had to choose, I would still take Juju Smith-Schuster first. And then it's close between Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney. They're close. Before this trade, I had Sky Moore at wide receiver 43, Kadarius Toney at wide receiver 56 in Dynasty. After this trade, I think they're going to be back to back. I'll have them both around, 48 or 49. Very close to each other. Kadarius Toney moving up, Sky Moore moving down. Juju, really no change. I think Juju has proven enough. I have him at 41 in Dynasty. It's proven enough. They'll either retain him or they won't. But yeah, in terms of short term, For starting anyone else on the Chiefs, you'll need to see it. I'll have everyone other than Juju ranked outside my top 60 for week 9. You just can't trust them. You don't know who's going to be used. You don't know who the 2 is behind Juju, whether it's MVS or Toney right off the bat. So you'll have to wait and see. In redraft, I would pick up Toney if he's on waivers in most formats. But this is not an 100% a fab move. I think Toney's upside is that he becomes what Juju is now for a redraft. And he becomes, in the best case scenario, he becomes like wide receiver 25 to 30 for the rest of the year. That's great. But if that's the ceiling, I'm not dropping 100% a fab on that player. But I don't mind him in long term. If he could settle into a role in this offense, we'll see. Trade Higgins, Wan'Dale, Doubs, and thanks for the question, Griffin. Higgins, Wan'Dale, Doubs, and Pickett for Godwin, Cooks, and Dak. I would redraft. So Dak is a huge upgrade over Pickett. Godwin and Higgins in redraft are somewhat similar. And then Cooks and Wan'Dale are kind of similar in redraft. Doubs is in there, but I got to go with Dak for the super flex upgrade. It's not close. Dak side easily. And Cook's trade rumors, we might be having another live stream about that very soon. Okay. So for the Chiefs side, obviously it's good for Patrick Mahomes, but you were starting him anyway. Travis Kelce's going to get his. Juju, maybe a small tick down, but I really don't think that Juju's role is going to change. I think he will remain the wide receiver 1 for the rest of this year. And it's just kind of everyone else now is fighting. And Kadarius Toney may emerge as the 2. It does kill Sky Moore, though. In redraft, you can drop Sky Moore. You don't need. I'd rather hold on to Toney than Moore in redraft. The Chiefs wouldn't have traded for a disgruntled wide receiver if they did not want to use him. So he's going to have an immediate role on the Chiefs. Then on the Giants, I do think that this trade means that the Giants will be acquiring a wide receiver before the trade deadline. Now, I think that could be Jerry Jeudy. I think that could be Chase Claypool. Those are the 2 big names that have been mentioned. It could be Brandon Cooks if they're looking for a veteran. One of those 3. I think they will be acquiring someone. In terms of the Giants, I never thought Kadarius Toney was coming back. So I didn't think he was ever going to play for the Giants again after he'd been injured for way longer than he was supposed to be. Doesn't really affect the weapons on there. Wan'Dale Robinson, obviously, is currently the wide receiver 1 there. Kenny Golladay is never going to play again, so you don't have to worry about him. Sterling Shepard's out for the year with a torn ACL. And then Darius Slayton is kind of hanging on the back of our roster. Darius Slayton, I do have at wide receiver 52 this week. I have Wan'Dale Robinson at wide receiver 32. So you can play Wan'Dale Robinson this week against Seattle. Darius Slayton is a desperation play. Kenny Golladay, I think, will never play again. But I do expect them to bring in a receiver. And if they bring in someone like Jeudy or Claypool, Wan'Dale would still be the 1 for me, actually. But Jeudy or Claypool would obviously be the clear 2. Although this is not an offense I'm chasing. Additional weapons. Saquon Barkley is going to be the only one you can reliably start. Daniel Jones for the rushing upside. But it's like a lot of teams where Daniel Jones rushes almost as much as any other quarterback. Running quarterback, not a great passer, great running back, leads to maybe 1 viable receiver if one of them gets a large majority of everything. Or if there's a mix, then no viable receivers or nobody inside the top 30. But I do think they'll trade for someone like Jeudy or Claypool to make their on-the-field team better, which would be good for Daniel Jones in fantasy. But we'll have to talk about that when it happens. For now, Wan'Dale Robinson is startable every week until they do that. Outside of that, the Giants really are down weapons also because Daniel Bellinger is probably out for the year with that eye socket fracture, which is a sad story because he's really having a great year as a rookie tight end. So look for the Giants to add somebody. I think we'll get that before the deadline, which is November 1st. But yeah, other than that, I think this is a very exciting trade for Dynasty. Kadarius Toney was never going to succeed with this coaching staff. They just didn't want him. So he didn't want to be there. They didn't want him to be there. So for him, it's good to see a fresh start. I think this is a big savior for his Dynasty value. And in Dynasty, Sky Moore is looking like a bust. I don't want to write him off just yet, but I am highly concerned. Highly concerned that a second round pick has been so bad that he can't get on the field, can't return punts, has done nothing at all. And now the team is bringing in a reclamation project to put him to 5th on the depth chart, maybe even 6th behind Justin Watson with how he's been going. So Sky Moore for me is, if you want some prices, I think we talked enough about redraft. For Dynasty prices, Wan'Dale Robinson, obviously not paying a first, but I'll pay any second for Wan'Dale Robinson in any format for sure. And then for Kadarius Toney, I'd probably pay a mid to late second. I don't want to spend an early second on him. Sky Moore, if you can buy for a third, I would do it, but otherwise I'm staying away. Juju, kind of really value has not changed much. It's whatever it was before, maybe around early to mid second. He's worth more than Toney or more, but less than Wan'Dale. And then MVS and Hardman don't really have dynasty value. Yeah. Then let's answer this question, and then I'm going to wrap up the show. So it's a nice short stream for people to watch if they want to, watch about Kadarius Toney later. So Talon says going all in for a championship, but need running back help. Okay, that's a lot. Sounds like a lot of people are in that situation. Trade Chase, Zamir White, and a third for Diggs and ETN. Other running backs are Mixon, Leonard Fournette, Singletary, Montgomery, and Carter. Other wide receivers are Justin Jefferson, Deontay Johnson, Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel. So in this case, assuming this is a dynasty league, it is a very close offer. I mean, Travis Etienne has gained a lot of value. Stephon Diggs is a wide receiver 1, high-end 1 right now, but he's older. It's tough. I would lean toward Chase, but I understand because just the one stud asset is worth so much more. I'd lean toward Chase in a dynasty. If it's redraft, it's obviously Diggs. I'd lean toward Chase in a dynasty, but if you have to do what you have to do, there are worse deals you can make. And then we'll take this one too. 10-team Superflex got offered Olave for ETN. Do I take it? If you have 101 or 102, you're a rebuilding team. Olave has been excellent this year. He's the rookie wide receiver 1 by a lot right now. I have him ranked 2 spots, overall spots above ETN in rankings, just above him. I think we're investing more in wide receivers in the dynasty market. ETN is young, but he's the same age as Jonathan Taylor. He'll be 24 in January. He's not, Breece Hall is 2.5 years younger. Travis Etienne is a young player, but he's not ultra young. Bijan Robinson will come in more than 3 years younger than Travis Etienne. So he missed his whole rookie year. He's had a couple of good games. I like Travis Etienne a lot. I have him in Dynasty at running back 7. So don't take this as a commentary about not liking Travis Etienne, but just take it as a commentary about an approach in Dynasty to take wide receivers early over running backs, not investing in running backs early because it's a big risk. You saw what happened to Javonte Williams. First round startup pick, boom, 1 injury and 3 rounds of value lost. So I will take Chris Olave here. He's had an excellent start to his career, 11th overall pick. Great player to have on your team. But anyway, thanks to everyone for watching. Once again, if you're here, thank you. If you're watching it later, the replay, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Comments and likes really drive the algorithm. Subscriptions obviously help you see future content. And then hit the notifications bell. You'll be notified about content like this. When I do these surprise live streams, the only real way to be notified is if you follow me on Twitter at Tyler FF Creator. You can see right there. I did post about it. If you're in the Patreon, which the link is in the show notes, I always post about any streams I'm doing in there. And then if you hit the notifications bell on YouTube, you'll get a notification anytime I put up a new video, live or otherwise. But anyway, thank you to everyone, and I will see you all later.